Hey everybody, this is John Snyder. I am in Apache Junction, and instead of doing a trick today, we are doing a trip. Picking up some last minute items at Walgreens, and we are going to the Great Canyon Lake. We're going to do some paddle boarding, and there's some other great spots I want to show you guys about Canyon Lake. So here we go. So we are about 14 miles away from Canyon Lake. There's actually a series of 3 lakes. We're just going to the first one. We have the beautiful Superstition Mountains up here to our right. And then there's actually a really cool ghost town up here called the Goldfield Ghost Mining Town. It's like an old cowboy town. That might be for another video, but this truly is a very pretty drive through here. But if you get car sick easy, it's like 10 corkscrew turns in a row. So we'll give you guys a little bit of that action as we get up closer to it. Town. There's somebody doing the zip line ride right there to our left. This is a fun place to come with the family. They got cowboy shoot 'em up. What do they do? Those little skates in the public square there. Sandwich shops, smoothies, coffee. I think they have like snakes and stuff you can look at. So there's, up in the distance, is the famous Needle Rock. This is the Needle Vista. If you take the Peralta Trail in Apache Junction, Superstition Mountains, you can get right up to that. And so a cool thing about that needle, a man who's got a really neat shop up in Payson told me if you want to find geodes in Arizona, he said right beneath that Needle Rock spot, you will find the highest quantity and best quality geodes in the state. So there you go, and again, that's off the Peralta Trail if you ever want to go find it. And Mr. Groot is happy, so I got a feeling it's going to be a good day. Groot's enjoying it. So I've been coming to this lake and a handful of the lakes in the Phoenix area for years, probably a decade or more. But I noticed the last 3, 4, 5 years, these lakes got so crowded on the weekend. So now kind of my new rule of thumb is I love coming on the weekdays. So today is Monday. There's no traffic, obviously one car in front of us. But we're going to get down there, and I anticipate us having pretty much the whole beach area to ourselves. We can park anywhere. There it is. There is the beautiful lake. Here's a little vista. So there's about, what, 3 boats in the water. I guarantee you 3 or 4, if it was Saturday or Sunday, this place would be full of boats. The beach area, the sandy area over there would be full of beachgoers, but it's not. Look at those breathtaking views, beautiful canyon walls there. And here's the 1-lane bridge. Make sure no one's coming the other way. There's some guys fishing down here in the boat. There's some kayakers. Honestly, my knock against Lake Pleasant is if you have a family with little kids, there's really no nice beach entry area. This actually is sand. You can walk in for several feet and the water's still shallow. So if you want to come to the beach here, the Acacia area is a great spot. But we're going to go, I believe it's called the Boulder area, where we're going to go paddleboarding. So, like I said, while the Acacia area back there is great if you're wanting to come to the beach, find a nice sandy spot for your kids to play in, and find some water that has a shallow end and isn't too deep. But if you wanted to go paddleboarding, you want the Boulder recreation site. And I remember coming here last summer on a weekend, and every one of these spots was filled. In fact, there was like a park ranger at the entrance here, only letting one car in at a time as a car left. There's a great pier dock if you want to go fishing, but we are going to go right here and get in the water. You boys ready?
Yes!
All right. There goes Denise along with Giovanni. When you have a kid, you gotta, or a second passenger, you gotta make sure they are squarely seated right in the center. And honestly, I like my paddleboard a little better. I think the balance is easier. This one, I'm rocking back and forth all day, but part of that could be I have a 60-pound passenger, and if he's moving at all, hey, it doesn't mean you're fat. No, you're a perfectly sized little 8-year-old, but just makes the balance a little bit different. There's a few other paddleboarders. All right, let's catch up to Mommy and Gia. We took a little break and they got a lot of distance on them. So, are there fish in this lake? Yes. You can go into some of the nature centers at this lake and other lakes, and they'll show you 20, 30, even 40-pound fish coming out of these lakes here in the Phoenix area. And my good buddy, Wild Denuser, does a lot of fishing in these lakes, and I know he catches some monsters. So for those of you that love to fish, this is a great place to come.
So you know I like to fish too.
So we're heading back into this super quiet, remote, almost scary, eerie part of the lake. It's like where one of the fingers of the lake just kind of ends. And I think you guys are gonna like it. Most people that come to this lake, I don't think ever get a chance to see it. So this is my favorite spot of the lake. But yeah, if you ever want to come do a family picnic, what's great is they got picnic tables, they have grills, as you can see over there. They got some shaded pavilions. They got the garbage dumpster. And of course, they got the bathrooms, which if it's 105 outside, it's like 120 in there. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. So look over here, Bash, point over to that rock to the left. See that rock? No, over here. See I don't know if you guys can see that. There's covered in white poop. So there's probably, there's some big birds nesting there, resting there. I know some of the lakes have eagles. Even down here in the Phoenix area, Lake Pleasant, I know has eagles from about December or January to June.
We're baiting you!
So I don't think there are eagles here now, late part of July, but we still have the turkey vultures and all kinds of hawks.
Can I get in the water?
Big meat-eating birds. All right, so we are about to enter the coolest part to me, I think, of the lake. The only way to get back here is if you have, to my knowledge, if you have a boat, kayak, or paddleboard. You can see right over here, this is where a lot of teenagers, high school, college kids, and adults come to do rock jumping. Up there, there's this 40 and even 60-foot one they call the Eagle's Nest. And right behind me, there's a walkway trail to get to this point. But if you want to go back in, you got to have some kind of watercraft, and that's where we're going to go now. Beautiful day, white puffy clouds. Partial sun, about 105 degrees. We did just now hit a fair amount of draft coming out of this canyon area behind us, the two narrow canyon walls. And it does make it harder to paddleboard. That's why you want to have that fin. Otherwise, you're going to be struggling. What's doing down there, Bash? Look up and wave. Having fun? All right, so this is Cliff Jumper's Alley here. Tons of people come here to cliff jump. This one's not too high, but there's a 60-foot one up there called Eagle's Nest. Yeah, I'm gonna be skipping that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa! I didn't want to see it.
So we're back here between the canyon walls. We're almost to the end of the lake here. And as you can see, the water is almost perfectly still. We just passed a fisherman. He said he caught a couple of big sunfish. And here's a rope swing that I've looked at for years, never done. I'm gonna give it a shot today. Let's see how that goes. I didn't quite get high enough.
There we go!
I need to get a... So that would have been awesome if I was like 2 feet higher up, but without an adult to hold the rope, I couldn't climb up the tree. And honestly, the branch you're supposed to stand on, I think would snap. So I think it used to have another part, and it broke off. But if I could have got a foot or two higher, that would have been awesome. It was fun for a few seconds. It's so quiet, peaceful, and calm down here. It's almost eerie. It's like I'm waiting for a bobcat to jump out any second and onto our paddleboard. We did just see a squirrel. There he is. Squirrel living in the rocks. I don't know if you can see him there. But other than like fish, birds, oh, there's two squirrels. Tons of yellow jackets. You don't see much out here, but I'm sure at night bigger animals. Okay, yeah, there's fish bubbling. I'm sure at night bigger animals come down in this area, especially up here because we're gonna come to a spot where the lake ends. But it's so calm and peaceful here. Here's a really cool bird that has like a neon. Look at that. This guy has like a neon orange bill.
I saw that.
Wow. All these birds are totally fearless. So right here, you can see there's a fish head, and I bet you, and then there's some bird poop. I bet you a hawk grabbed that, and that's a big size fish there, probably at least 5 pounds, 4 or 5 pounds or more. Pretty cool. You can see this fish head right there and the bird poo. So somebody had a good snack. So these ducks are chasing my wife and my son. That duck, you could almost touch that duck, honey. That's crazy. They have no fear. They obviously love people food. Pretty cool. And we are just cruising right along. You can see along the mountain cliffside here, we got the reeds, we got some, looks like Palo Verde trees, and we got the saguaro cacti. I've heard that at about 60 or 70 years, they grow their first arm. All right, guys, there is a beautiful grayish blue crane that just flew, and I was paddling, couldn't get to the camera in time, but I believe he's gonna take off again if we go towards him. Can we see your flight a little bit? Look at that beautiful, majestic creature. That is awesome. And I'm about to crash, so I'm gonna bug out.